Day, my friends, I'm here to talk about demand gen campaigns. Most people are not familiar with them. They're probably one of the lesser known Google ad types, but I thought it'd be a good way to introduce them to most of the buyers who are just getting in PPC or dabbling with campaigns. I think it's a good strategy depending on the account that you're working on. So most people are used to Google search, they're used to Google shopping campaigns, they're used to YouTube video view campaigns, they're used to even PMAX campaigns. But DemandGen has kind of not really surfaced, and there's a couple of reasons why. The number one reason, it was just named from discovery campaigns. I'm not sure if you remember those, to last year during the Google Marketing Live Conference of 2023, they were morphed into DemandGen. And they've come with some really cool features that I think we should all be aware of. The first is it incorporates Gmail and incorporates YouTube. And incorporates Discover as well, but really it's those two that really take the cake. And YouTube, of course, is the world's second largest search engine. Now, wait a minute, Yosef, why are you talking about search engines and YouTube? Because can I get my ads from search onto YouTube search? Yes, you can. And then, just to take it a step further, there's three different ways to do that. There's you can pick and search Google search only, Google Partners, which is YouTube, and then display, right? Google Partners and display. You should never, ever, ever, ever use Google Display. That is complete crap. That's garbage. I usually use the second one because I'm a big believer in YouTube search. I think there's a lot of amazing traffic because it is, the how-tos and reviews are just, that's really what drives YouTube, really. So I think it's an awesome place to be. Then on top of that, there are already ads on YouTube, right? So now here's where I'll get checked by my more experienced buyers on this platform, because there is something called video action ads. I'm not sure if you remember those or if you guys have dabbled with those. The problem with those are conversion based. You can't just like drive traffic. That's the cool thing with DemandGen. DemandGen is very big on traffic, and you don't have to have a conversion hooked up to do it. It almost has like a max clicks function, which, I'm not big on max clicks. I think max clicks is actually what's really harming a lot of campaigns lately. But remember, this is over a year old. So at the time, there was a niche to fill in terms of getting traffic to a site to warm it up, right? It's called warming up your campaigns. Also, lookalikes live here, right? So remember similar audiences? All of us remember similar audiences. That got deprecated into or morphed into optimized targeting. So optimized targeting is what we all know as, and that's another name for that is actually audience liquidity is also another name it goes by. And that's, of course, when you have a seed audience and you extrapolate it out based on performance. And similar audiences you cannot use anymore. However, that actually got morphed into lookalikes, and lookalikes do live only on DemandGen. So you have, I think it's three different levels. There's the close lookalike, semi lookalike, and then kind of like a distant lookalike. So I usually just keep it to the first one. Can't go wrong there. And then just based on performance, move it down the funnel. Another great thing about DemandGen is it uses product feed within YouTube. So if you've ever seen those ads with product feed, that's what this is. It also is almost like a white hat add to cart remarketing funnel. So what I love about this is there's only three ways to really add a cart, right? There's auto add to cart abandonment, right? So when somebody adds a cart and abandons, they get the email from either MailChimp or Shopify or whatever. Oh, you've cart abandoned, please, come back or whatever. Here's an offer. Then you have a person doing it. That's organic email add to cart. So that's when you segment the audiences and you kind of design, you're actually designing different templates, email templates to remarket to them, all sorts of different creative. The first is kind of junk. If you just get that cart abandoned email, unless it's an offer, you're probably not going to get back in. But a lot of times, if you have a good email person, you're able to use different strategies to warm it up or to warm them back up and bring them back into a purchase. And that could include different products. It could include different creative, could include different offers, all sorts of cool stuff. And that's when you need a person there. My agency actually specializes, or not specializes, but that we do have email marketers, and it's a very cool thing. It's something we really got down to a science. And then we have this. This is paid add to cart. Now, wait a minute, Joseph, didn't you just say you just have, like, why would you have both? And I actually do have an account that uses both. When you have accounts that deal with a lot of cart abandonment. Now, what's one that deals with a lot of cart abandonment? Automotive is one. The next one is travel. Travel has huge add to cart abandonments. I mean, think about the last time you went on vacation, right? You checked out every single hotel at that location. You checked out every single flight for the week after, week before, all that stuff to find the lowest, the best deal you could get, right? And then you looked at all sorts of activities. You look at rental cars. So you have something like travel in that vertical. Add to cart abandonment is a thing. It's something you just deal with in the thousands of people every day. And so what you have to do is that one structure is enough. You need two structures to do it. And frequency is it. That's how you bring people back in. And then of course you're able to use Google Merchant Center, right? So if you're dealing with an e-commerce platform, right, you're able to, or e-commerce clients, you're able to bring them back in again through their whatever they last checked, to bring them back into the funnel via your product feed through Google Merchant Center. Then you have display. It's almost like a display social campaign. And why do I say that, right? Well, first of all, look at what I was talking about earlier. I was talking about Gmail and I was talking about YouTube. That's where I said the focus was. So think about Gmail for add to cart abandonment. That's one. But for YouTube, think of social. YouTube is a social platform. There's no doubt about that. So if you view it as in terms of the placements you can use video, you can use display, and then you can use carousels. Think about it. You can use, like I said at the top, YouTube Shorts. That's almost like it's just a social platform at that. You're doing a social buy, really. So, and this kind of gets into the realm of programmatic at times, because the big thing you're going to see with DemandGen is that the secondary, tertiary, fourth touches, the view through conversions be a little high, just like Prog. But because it has lookalikes, I think it has a little bit of an edge. It's not as bad as Prog. Prog is, as a first touch, that's not a strength. Its biggest strength, if you've looked at any kind of Prog, is usually retargeting, right? That's its biggest strength. And same goes with this. I agree with that. But due to the lookalikes, due to the feed aspect, right? You're able to get those first clicks in, right? Just like Facebook. Like if you think of Facebook, it's really about the stories. It's about the feed. It's about those big placements and the right creative, the right audience, and the right offer to bring people into your funnel. Same thing goes for this. And that's why I really dig this. It's a different placement than Prog. But it's kind of similar in the fact you will get view through conversions, so be ready for that. And for people who don't know what view through conversions, that's like when you're in the data attribution model and you're in the attribution model, you pick the data feed, right? You have two different choices within Google. You have last click and you have data feed. Data feed is the one that contributes like a third of the conversion here and a third there, but the first click is usually with the bigger placement, right? It's usually with Facebook or search or something kind of bigger, or even like a YouTube video completion rate or something like that. That's how initially they're brought in. But Pro kind of like basically does the view through conversion, like I said, as a mid-funnel retargeting aspect to get people to buy and purchase. And like I said, same thing with this. But like I said, it has great placements that mimic Facebook that I think really make it a good first touch mechanism. So keep that in mind, my friends. That's why I like it. So let's delve further in terms of how to set these up. So here we have sales, we have leads, we have all these different aspects of objectives you can choose from. I'm just picking sales right here. And that of course leads me to these conversions to improve sales. And then you pick DemandGen. So it goes from, and you can click website traffic, awareness consideration, or a lot of times people don't even use goals guidance because they think that automatically jumps up the cost per click or the CPM, etc. I think it's fine either way. Then here you have, if you click down, you can click conversions, clicks, conversion value. And this is, like I said, this is what differentiates it from YouTube action ads, because YouTube action ads are straight out conversions. But here you can do clicks. Now, remember what I said earlier, though, and in my other videos, max clicks is what's destroying search right now. I really think this. I think it's a great way to start a campaign right now. I think it's fine to warm a campaign. but man, the spot traffic is through the roof right now. It's not getting any better. So be very careful how you use this. I've been tending to start with conversions just because I want more qualified traffic. I want to send that signal out. Hey, I'm not messing around. I may use clicks at first. I may use it for a couple of days just to get that, just to warm the campaign, look at my CTRs. If the CTRs are low, then I need to swap out creative. But if they're high and I'm looking through the path of conversion, add to carts are filling out, etc. Hey, I mean, just let's flip the switch to conversions now, right? Or even conversion value. And like I said, when you use conversion value, make sure you're using you're grouping these correctly, right? Like if you're say if you're a boat salesman or a boat account and you're selling $10,000, $50,000 boats, and then you're selling sunglasses, those aren't in the same campaign, right? You should be segmenting your campaigns by groups, by items, by, there's a big difference there. So best sellers, etc. So make sure you're segmenting them out correctly to get the best, to move the right product within the right campaign structure. Then you have conversion values. You can do, I don't usually do this when I first start. I like to see where the benchmarks are, and usually the benchmarks suck, but, or not the benchmarks suck, but your initial findings are a little weak because it's getting those first conversions. Of course, your cost per acquisition is going to be very high in the first couple of rounds. It's working to bring them down and it's learning. So I normally don't set this up right away, unless it's a very small, merchandise, etc. Then you can. And then here you're able to set up campaign URL options for your UTMs to analyze that and Google Ads. Another, like I said, cool thing about DemandGen are the product feeds. You cannot do this unless your Google Merchant Center is linked. That has to be linked, my friends. And then you're able to run product feed campaigns on YouTube and then Gmail. And then, of course, Discover too. But really, that's what you're doing it for, the high reach and the one-to-one Gmail marketing, which is what DemandGen. So if you take anything from this video, it's about the YouTube, right? The YouTube feed and Gmail remarketing. That's really its biggest strength. Here I have the ad set build outs here. So like I said, there is optimized targeting. We do have that again. Here we have the how to build the ads. Like I said, you could do single image ad, video ads, and then you have carousel image ads. We're going to go to that in a minute. And then this is how it'll look in terms of the 3 different placements. And you basically set everything up here. You go down one. Oh yeah, and then one thing I want to know. Oh, this is interesting. I really want to make sure I touch on this. When you do carousels, make sure you're doing them right. Like, so to do carousels correctly, the card, they all have to be one image. And what do I mean by one image? There's 3 different images to pick from. There's square, there's horizontal, which is like the movie, right? And then there's 4x5, which is semi-vertical, right? 9x16 is a true vertical, but really, for some reason, it claims it's 4x5 for this, which is kind of true to a certain extent. But when you do carousel, make sure they're all square. Make sure they're all horizontal or all vertical, 4x5. They cannot be one square, one horizontal, like that. Don't do that. You'll know you're messing up when it won't let you show. So this is a paintball one. I'm in a paintballing, or I used to be. And so if you see here, this 1x1, right? You'll see that the example won't show up unless they all match. So these, remember, when you do a carousel, it all has to be one of these, all of them. It cannot be one of each or whatever. It has to be all square or horizontal or all vertical. And then you're allowed 10, then you're allowed to use the order, set the order of how you want them to flow. So that's the up and down arrow right here. And I love this placement. I think this is really cool to show go through the different products, etc. Not to mention the product feed placement as well. Here, I'm going up again. I wanted to also talk about, this is something that I think we all need to start doing a little bit better on, is importing GA4 audiences. A lot of us are kind of lazy. We kind of say, oh yeah, I just connected to Shopify, I have the API placement. Really you should be using GA4 as well. Like you should be, relying on, because GA4 is where they really segment the audiences correctly, right? And that's when you're able to say, okay, these are the ad, like here it's the add a cart abandonment email I was talking about. This is actually from that video where I show people how to do it step by step. But what I love about GA4 is you're able to segment out all these micro targets and then able to incorporate them into your campaign. So what you do here is it's Google Analytics 4, you go to admin, you go to audiences, and then you pick create an event, and then that's how you do it. Just remember the conversion value only links with standard events. They don't link to custom events. So keep that in mind if you're looking to make sure that the those custom events, like why isn't I made this custom event? Why isn't it purchases? Because why the conversion value not being linked to that? It's because it's not a standard event. It has to be a standard event, which is an ATC, IC, or purchase. And then really it should just be purchase. You shouldn't be linking conversion value to add a cart. I've always thought that was a little strange whenever I saw that. Really, that you want to pay for sales at the end of the day. Really, the conversions, that's when you do add a cart, etc. And then when you do conversion value, that should all be purchases. But this is how you do it. And then here, again, when you have your product feed, right? Like I said, this is how it looks on YouTube, right? Very cool, right within your feed. Then you have Discover, and then you have Gmail. This is the creme de la creme, my friends. This is it right here. This is your email remarketing campaign. Now, wait a minute, Yosef. I thought, now I think I said this earlier, but I'll say it again. I thought PMAX does remarketing. Yes, it does. But again, it depends on the vertical. If you're dealing with a vertical that has tons of cart abandonment, then you would do this. Now, otherwise, if you have a PMAX campaign, it does it automatically. If you're just spending $50 a day, it does it automatically. But if you're spending thousands a day and you're having thousands of cart abandonments a day, you need to start doing this. There's no doubt about that. And also, I guess that'd be like a resort placement as well, like if you're selling like Disneyland tickets or Knott's Berry Farm, etc. And my friends, that takes us through our journey. I want to say, please look at us on Medium. We also have our podcast. I've been doing some really unique one-on-ones with my podcast. I've been really talking about, I have two great series. One is the Meta Blueprint Year One. I love that title, by the way. And then I have the Are You an Amateur or Are You a Professional series. And I think that's a very cool series. And I've been really dropping some nuggets there. I'm going to make a video on that as well that I think can really contribute. We also have some amazing interviews I have coming up. Some people have really reached out to me that I'm shocked. So please be sure to be watching those interviews. Those are really cool. But definitely keep an eye on the podcast. Are You an Amateur or Professional series? I'm going to really build that out. I really think that's a cool way to talk more on, as you're doing these ads, are you an amateur or are you professional? Are you doing amateur things or are you doing professional things? And you really, should be doing, of course, right? You shouldn't be doing things like learning on people's dime, etc. As an amateur, as just starting out. You should be a professional when you're doing this, and you have to have professional things in line. You shouldn't be doing ads for somebody and this is your first ad campaign. So I really want to make sure that's driven home. So that's really it, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to some more dialogue, and have a great campaign building. Thank you.